What is up, guys? So when I make videos, I'm not trying to be politically correct. What I'm trying to do is tell you guys what I believe is true. With this video, I believe a lot of people are gonna disagree with what I have to say. However, that's a good thing, and that is what the comment section should be used for when it comes to videos like this. A lot of people are pissed off today so much that this Reddit post is on the front page of Reddit, and it's filled with people expressing how disappointed and sad they are. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am disappointed. I'm not gonna take it that step and get mad at the company or the employees, because at the end of the day, it is their game. Let me quickly summarize the situation. So there's a guy called 117 who has been working on Runelite HD for, I believe, 2 years. And on the day he was about to release it for the public to enjoy, Jagex said, no, please shut this down because we are working on our own visually upgraded old school RuneScape. This upset many because a bunch of folks have been waiting for a Runelite HD for about a year or two just for Jagex at the last second to shut it down. That is one of the critiques of Jagex, is that it takes them too long to respond to situations to the point where it's too late and there's a lot of damage done. An example of that would be account services. They didn't want it, but it took them 1 to 2 years for them to shut it down publicly. And then we get to this unfortunate situation where 117 worked his butt off just for Jagex to shut it down. They could have nipped him in the butt a year or two ago before he put so much effort into this. He was paid to do this. However, obviously this was a passion project for him. He wanted to do this for people to enjoy because he wasn't getting paid that much. However, now we get to Jagex's side in this situation. I feel that some people are mad for the wrong reasons, and it comes from entitlement. You guys got to understand that we do not own the game. If you would like to own the game, you could bid $500-600 million, and at that point you can buy Jagex and you can have flying cars in the game if you wanted to, right? But again, we just play the game, we don't own the game. And as a collective who own the game, they have every right to not want people to modify their game, right? And I'm gonna also talk about why 117 adding this Runelite HD could be a disaster. We'll get into that. But anyway, Jagex themselves have stated that, hey, look, we want to visually upgrade the game. Then we get this third-party entity who has no relation to Jagex, and they're like, no, you know what? We also want to visually upgrade the game. To me, that's complete bonkers. They have every right to say, no, we don't want you to visually upgrade the game because we are ourselves. And I'm going to get way more into that later on. But that's why I say this kind of stems from entitlement, because people are pissed off that Jagex is not allowing someone who doesn't work for Jagex to like visually modify their game. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of crazy to me. Anyway, to make my points stronger, let's go to the beginning, because when old school first came out, there was no third-party client. We all played the vanilla client. Then we had OS Buddy, who agreed to work with Jagex. More importantly, their code was not open source and their code was obfuscated, meaning that people couldn't just look at their code to make their own bot or cheat client. Years go past, we got Runelite.
Why have we asked Runelite to close?
So, reviewed Runelite recently. During that we found some issues which we then raised with Runelite. The main one being that they had a public deobfuscator, and they made it public so you could easily deobfuscate our client and then publish that deobfuscated code. That is a breach of copyright law, which is why we're taking this down. It's a very dangerous thing as well. It allows players to, well, not players, but you know, the more nefarious parts of the community to take our code and do very, very bad things with it, which obviously we don't want to happen.
Like making botting tools.
Like making botting tools, yeah, absolutely.
Modman K was fully, and the old school team was fully against Runelite at the beginning, because the old school team knew this would be opening the Pandora's box, and it did, right? Because the community went crazy, old school team gave in and they allowed us to have Runelite. Runelite not only is open source this time, their code is not obfuscated to what I know, meaning that people can simply copy and paste their code and create bots or create cheat clients. And as we can see today, the game is rampant with bots and cheaters are not able to be banned because their cheats are visual, right? If we were still in the days where it was only OS Buddy, that would not be an issue as much, right? People would still obviously find ways to cheat, but it wouldn't be on a scale as it is today. To my understanding, a lot of these cheat and bot clients kind of mask themselves as Runelite. So maybe on old school side, it seems like they're on the Runelite client when they're not. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what I believe is how it works, and that's why a lot of people are able to get away with cheating nowadays. Back in the day with OS Buddy, that would not be a thing because OS Buddy's code was hidden and you're not able to copy and paste it. So no person's gonna be able to get their code in the first place to be able to mask OS Buddy into anything. And Jagex knows if you're not on their client. So when we get back to the 117 case, since Runelite is open source and the code I believe is not obfuscated, when he puts the Runelite HD code into Runelite, I believe everyone's going to be able to see it. And again, we are opening the Pandora's box for people to be visually modifying the game, HD, whatever. It's gonna, people are gonna easily be able to like copy and paste his code and make their own better HD. And I don't think Jagex wants that, and that's fair for them to not want it. Also, here's a conspiracy and a speculation. What I believe is going on is that Jagex are trying to upgrade their client to the point where it competes with Runelite, where they can now say, all right guys, our client is good enough, you don't need Runelite, because us allowing Runelite is really messing up the game, so we're now banning every client. And like I said earlier, Jagex, I don't know if they can know what specific client you're on, but they know when you're not on the vanilla client. So at that point, they can just say, all right, you're only able to use a vanilla client. If we see you using any other client, you are banned. And that's going to wipe out a lot of bots and a lot of cheaters. That's not to say that it's going to stop cheating and botting, but it's going to greatly remove it. So when you are complaining about Jagex with this situation, just reconsider what I said, because obviously I want to say Jagex kind of want the best for us. If it was long-term a good thing, they would have allowed Runelite HD. They've allowed a lot of stuff up to this point, but there's a reason why they don't want Runelite HD, and I'm guessing it's because they have a big team now, a bunch of artists, they're working their butts off to make the game visually better. And why do they have to be competing with third-party entities? To me, that's just ridiculous. No game should be competing against people who behind the scenes want to modify it's basically modding the game, right? You're modifying it. A lot of people who make games hate modders. They hate them. They don't want people touching their game. Look, it's our game. You know what I'm saying? There are clients right now that allow you to have HD already that is not Runelite. I guess Jagex targeted Runelite because I want to say like over 70% of people who play the game use Runelite. So in a way, they're stopping 70% of the people from having like some visual upgrade. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed your day. Peace out.
Going to be popular.
See, we do get that Runelite wasn't made out of spite. That's a work of love by people who care about the game as well. And we do respect that, but we cannot have tools that deobfuscate our client so that people can write anything floating around the internet like that. I'm sorry, that's really not viable, even if it was made by people who genuinely want the best for old school.